Okay, so now we have a two-parter. My dog really just wants to be in this video. I don't understand why he wants to be in this video. He really likes this book, I guess. So you have the book of Ezra, and then you have the book of Nehemiah. And the story is, it doesn't finish in one, it carries over into the other. So the walls of the city of Jerusalem lay in ruin. Ezra worked to rebuild the city walls, but he was not able to. It actually took 52 days for them to rebuild the wall. So the story starts in Ezra, but it ends in Nehemiah. So that's why we've got a two-parter here. And I've got the city in ruin and in flames, and then I have the city all nicely built up, back up. So there you go. Okay, so then the next book is 2nd Chronicles. And at this time, I feel like it is abundantly clear that I, as an artist, have discovered Zentangles. That's all this is Zentangles. And at this point, I had not discovered Pinterest, but I had discovered Zentangles. So for whatever reason, that is why rando, super weird patterns and colors appear before you. But again, this is for kids. Kids like bright stuff. So boom, there you go. And these are the Bible verses that I thought were really important. Oh, bleedy pen again. It's kind of like Where's Waldo with the bleedy pen. I love that pen. I do like it. There it is again. Pre-bleed, post-bleed. So there you go. There's 2nd Chronicles. All right, so the next one is 1st Chronicles. And it's the trees of the forest sing for joy before the Lord. So I have the trees of the forest. Which, by the way, no artistic talent here whatsoever. Singing. And then just some random Bible verses that I thought were important, I guess. And then David, beloved father and preacher, apparently King David maybe, died in this book. I believe that's probably King David from previous days. And there's that bleedy pen again. Oh, that bleedy pen. Oh, I love it so. So there you go. There's 1st Chronicles. All right, so then the next book is 2nd Kings. We have another little kid king here. Josiah was 8 years old when he became the king. He did what was right in the eyes of the Lord. And legit, like, that's the only descriptor for this guy. Like, I don't know. I mean, I felt like they could have come up with something else other than that, but that's what it said, so that's what I put. And then I just put some little Zentangles. Let a double portion of your spirit be upon me. So I have a vase pouring out a double portion, and then there's a story about poison in the pot, and then God spoke and add flour, and the people added flour, and they were satisfied and they didn't die. So that's an important story because they had faith that, like, flour, how is flour going to stop poison? But they had faith and none of them died. So that's why that's there. So there you go. That's 2nd Kings, y'all. All right. Then the next book is 1st King. And Solomon builds the temple, and Solomon asks for wisdom from God, and God gives him wisdom in the form of a present wrapped like it was from Santa. Even the most blessed person can drift from the Lord and still be forgiven. And may the Lord our God never leave me or forsake me. And then also Israel is divided. There is no peace at the time because Israel is fighting with Judah and Judah is fighting with Israel. And the ravens fed him bread and meat by day and night. So this is when Solomon, I don't think it's Solomon, but I don't know, maybe Solomon, I can't remember. 2015, guys. I can't remember, but somebody goes out into the desert and he's starving, but the birds feed him bread and meat, and he survives. I think it is Solomon. I don't know. Leave it in the comments, y'all. Leave it in the comments. All right, so then the next book you come across is 2 Samuel, and you have her calling upon the Lord who's worthy to be praised. And then one of the things that you will find is puns and jokes, because my Hannah Banana loves a good pun. So I have King David, who at the time was a child. I think he was probably 10, 13. He was a kid. And he decided that he wanted to move the capital, which at the time was in Hebron, to the city of Jerusalem, which was not an easy feat for anyone to do back then. It wasn't like, they just rented a U-Haul and moved the city capital. So that is why I have a little business card here that says King David Capital Moving Company, is so that we can remember that important thing happened. King David moved the city from one place to another. So then the next book is First Samuel, and you've got the story of Hannah, where I prayed for this child, and the Lord granted me what I asked for of him. Speak, the Lord, for your servant is listening. So this is the story of Hannah, and then I've also got the story of David and Goliath, and then peace be with you, and peace be to your home and family. So just kind of some fun stuff for my kids. Again, this is aimed at my children that were at this time under the age of 5. So that's why I did it this way. And yes, there is some bleed through from this one specific purple pen. You'll see that. And it's annoying because it took like 2 years to bleed through. It just showed up in like 2017. I was like, where did you come from? But you know what? That's how God wanted this book to look. So that's how this book looks. All right, next would be the Book of Ruth, and where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. With my attempt at Lady Ruth. There you go. All right, and then the next book of the Bible is Judges. Now, these guys may look familiar to any 90s Christian kids out there, because, yes, these guys are straight up from VeggieTales. I legit had a VHS video with a VCR of VeggieTales, and I was watching it, and they were talking about the judges, and they just pulled, at some point, it was like a roster of the judges, I guess, and I literally paused the VCR, hit pause on the VCR, and traced these guys off the screen of my television. But this is what the VeggieTales guys think of the judges. And these are all the names of the judges. Straight up stolen from the VeggieTales creators, y'all. If it's good enough for every 90s Christian kid, it's good enough for my kids, right? All right. And then the next book would be Joshua. And, oh, sun, stand still. And the sun stood still. And then the walls of Jericho, my son, give glory to the Lord and give him praise. And then now entering the promised land, because they did wander around all the way from Exodus to now. The people have just been wandering in the desert for no reason. So I've got them like coming out of the desert and going into the promised land. And it says, and this is the 23rd verse of Joshua. So it felt like that was kind of really the only important points. Oh, and here's a date. You won't see those often, but they're hidden in here. So I finished this in May of 2013. So that's about the time. So I started this in January, and it's taken me till May to get like 5 books done. Yep, that's about right for me. All right, so then the next book that you have in the Bible would be Deuteronomy. And I have just this little bird here, and the Bible verse is, God chose you out of all people of the earth as his greatest treasure. And then we have just some flowers that I did with colored pencil over here, and we've got God's love in Arabic, and the Lord will lead you, the Lord will lead the way, he is always with you, he will never ever leave you, he will never forsake you, he will never forget you, no need to fear, and no need to be dismayed. So there, it's Deuteronomy, y'all. So then you come across Numbers, which Numbers is just numbers. Like, it's people, and like Bob begat Tom, begat Paul, begat Saul. So the one thing I did pick up was the Passover Seder plate, which I drew my version of the Passover Seder plate. All these things are so happy that you're going to eat them. It's a little creepy. But I also have all the tribes of Israel over here. The Lord loves all his children, and he has numbered them all in his heart. And so this tree is made up of all of the names and all of the tribes of Israel. So there you go. And this is probably my last one, because I got to go pick up my little. She's not feeling too well today. But I just wanted to do a couple little books of the Bible. I hope you guys like it. Please let me know if you do. I put so much work into this, y'all. It's literally, I'm not exaggerating, years worth of work that have gone into this. And I just want to know what y'all think. Was it a waste of my time? Okay, so when I did this, when I originally made this pact with God, because I made a pact with God that I would do this, that I would commit to this, and that I would finish it, and that's why it took me 6 years to do it. But I thought it would take me a year. I was so naive. I thought I would get this done in a year. Oh, Lord, no. 6 years later, I just finished it. So this part was for that year. It was like a scrapbook where I kept like important things from that month, things that were important to me. So this is all that's what that is. And then you have the introduction to the Old Testament, which this is the definition of a testament. And then this is actually the books and the things that happen in the Old Testament. And I can't remember them all because, like, I did this in 2013. But you've got, like, the Garden of Eden, and then Adam and Eve getting kicked out, Noah's Ark. You've got Jonah and the whale is over here. But you've got David and Goliath here, and then you've got Joseph, and then Moses in the basket. They were lost in the desert. So you get the idea. So I thought that was a good way to introduce the whole Old Testament. Okay, so this one doesn't have to be very long. The next book that you come across is Leviticus, and the only thing that I could get out of Leviticus was rules, rules, and more rules. So, there's a lot of rules, y'all. So then after Genesis, you have Exodus, and a lot of stuff happens in Exodus as well. So, we've got the whole story of Moses, where she placed him in the basket and put him in the lake. Then you have the burning bush. Then you have the plagues, which I'm pretty sure I got all of the plagues in here. But then you have the plagues. And then you have Moses parting the Red Sea. And then you have the Ten Commandments. So, again, a lot of stuff happens in Exodus. So, I just needed to make sure I included everything. And then, and I have all of the 10 Commandments here. And you can tell early on my drawing was definitely not as good as later on when I discovered Pinterest. When I discovered Pinterest, this book became a whole lot better. Let me tell y'all that. But there you go. Okay, so one of the things that I ran across was there's a lot of information in these books. And Genesis is one where a lot of stuff goes down. You've got all of the creation of earth. That's the first thing that happens. You've got like all of the earth is created, and that's what happens in the 7 days. Then you've got the whole Garden of Eden thing. Then you've got Adam and Eve and the apple. Then you've got the flood. Then you've got the promise that the flood will never happen again and that God will spare us and da-da-da-da-da. Then you've got him promising Abraham that he will give him as many offspring as there are stars in the sky, which, dang, that's a lot of kids. Then you got all of Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, y'all. You got the story of Joseph and how his brothers tried to sell him into slavery, but for what they intended for evil, God intended for good, and God was with Joseph, and he gave him prophetic dreams, which ended up saving everyone from the famine. So, I mean, a lot of stuff happens in Genesis, and I needed to make sure it was all in there, so that's what you get. I think this one, you can... So now we get to Romans, which is actually the one Zentangle I really like. It took me so long to do this, though. Like, this one took me months to do. And in fact, if you're astute, you will notice somewhere the same Bible verse is in here twice. It took so long to do it that I wrote the same Bible verse and didn't even realize it. But you know what? It's like I have this pen right here, this purple pen. It's this purple right here. And it bleeds through. And did I want it to look like that? No. But did God want it to look like that? Apparently. So I have to just be like, it's okay. And also, look, there's a mistake here, too. But again, I did not care. I put so much time into this. Literally, this one took me forever to do. Alright, so then the next book is the book of Acts. And it is more blessed to give than to receive. And those who had been scattered preached the truth wherever they went out. So go out. And then prayers grow up, blessings come down. And then at midnight, Paul and Silas prayed, and they sang praises to the Lord, and their faith set them free. And this is actually the prison and the little bad guy from Disney's Robin Hood. If it looks familiar to you, that's why. So there you go. That's Acts. All right, and then the next book that you have is the book of John. And this is actually a cross-stitch pattern. And I liked it so much that I traced it and I used it. And now this is just like the story of Jesus. I needed to include the death of Jesus, but I couldn't really just draw like a dead guy on a cross. This is meant for my children. So I found a tattoo online that I really liked and I traced it and I put that in there. And then I put some puns in for my banana because she does love a good pun. And then you've got the fruit of the Spirit here. And then you've just got Jesus walking on the water. Jesus walking on the water. Sweet Jesus. Sorry. A little violent femme moment there. And then you've got gospel. And then again, you've got trust in the Lord. The sheep know my voice. So This one is John. So this is my Bible book. I made a book for my kids because my kids have autism and church was not working because they started screaming and we got kicked out. So I was like, how do I teach my kids the Bible? Because it's important to me that my kids have the love of Jesus in their heart. So the Lord came to me and said, draw a Bible for them. And if you draw it, they will love it. And they do. So I did it. I did the whole dang thing too, by the way, I started it in 2013 and I just finished it a few months ago. And it is extensive. It is every single book of the Bible. There's a page, if not more than one page, for each book of the Bible. I read the book of the Bible like a book from the beginning to the end with the main character is Jesus, not like an encyclopedia where you look up something on backsliding. I actually read the whole book. And so this is my book about the Bible. This is my version of the Bible. I hope y'all like it. I put a lot of work into it. Okay, y'all, so I know you didn't expect to be going to church today, but I'm going to take y'all to church. So this is my Bible, part 1 actually. And the very first thing that you should do is enter his gates with praise and thanksgiving, y'all. So the very first thing that I have is my praises. These are the things that I am thankful for. I will enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. See what I mean? So these are all my praises. These are all the things that I am thankful to the Lord for, because I got a lot of blessings. So that's the very first thing. And then I have an index, which it's still in pencil because I was all like, I might change it. It might not stay the same. And I have just never gone over it in pen because this book has taken me years. So here are prayers for each member of the family. It's me. That's me as a wife, me as a mom, my past. It's my family, all of my peeps. And then be joyful always with thanksgiving. All right, last book, Revelations. The Lord shall reign forever and ever, and who was and is to come. And it's an hourglass with sparkly and metallic suns and moons with steampunky clocks and gears in the background. I like it. All right, the next book is 2 Peter. Grace and peace be yours in abundance. And I wanted this one to look like a chalkboard from Starbucks where they have the little drawings on there with the ingredients, like a recipe. And this is what you need: a mustard seed of faith, a heavy scoop of knowledge, a bottle of self-control, 2 pats of steadfastness, 1 modest cup of virtue, 1 leavened spoonful of godliness, 1 cup overflowing with love, and 2 portions of brotherly affection. I like this one. Okay, so then this is the Book of Hosea, which for the record was always my favorite book growing up. I grew up in foster care, so I grew up in a bunch of different churches. A lot of them were like AME Zion churches and temples. And they would always say, what's your favorite Bible verse? And I would always say, Hosea, you know, the one where he told the girl, he told the man to go marry the prostitute. And even though she was still out and whoring in the streets, he was still to be faithful to her. Like 7-year-old me used to just love to do that to like little old ladies in church. So Hosea is actually one of my favorite books. And so I did it like a wedding invitation. So this is like a wedding, like that's what this is. This is actually from a wedding invitation. And then I have like Bible verses. And this is actually from a tarot card that I had. I just straight up traced that tarot card. And it turned out okay. I mean, I'm pretty proud of this one. But I do love me some Hosea, y'all. All right, the next book is James. Always say I love you, read your Bible every day, be faithful, use kind words, pray often, mind your manners, be slow to anger and quick to forgive, help out anyone you can, be humble, do your best, resist evil to the very end, be grateful, be kind, be honest, keep your promises, give more than you receive, always tell the truth, say please and thank you, be joyous in every test or trial, for a tiny spark can set a forest on fire. Keep your heart pure and innocent. Say please and thank you. Love each other. Give your best and be strong. Keep the Lord above all things and submit to him so joy and peace will fill your heart. Be loyal. Do your best. Be more patient and kind than is needed, for God blesses those who patiently endure. Practice grace. Submit life and deeds to God, and the devil will flee from you. Pray for your loved ones. Walk in faith. Work hard. Draw near to the Lord, and he in return will draw near to you, for he is full of compassion and mercy. Every gift that has been given to you is from God, and use them to glorify his name and enjoy the little things in life. Alright guys, the next book is Colossians. Look up, set your mind on things above. Please forgive us as the Lord forgave you, and most of all, let love guide your life. Do small things with great love. And then Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart and work for the Lord. If you're old enough to remember what tea towels are, then you will recognize this because there was a different tea towel and a different chore for each day of the week. And I'm a stay-at-home mom, so this is my life. My life is doing laundry and fixing things and cooking and cleaning and baking and going to church and taking my kids to school. So that's why I included that in there. Whatever you do, do your work as for the Lord, not for man. All right, and then the next book is the Introduction to the New Testament, which is the same as the other one, where you have the birth of Jesus, 30 years later, 12 disciples, walking on water, Sermon on the Mount, feeding all the people, love everyone above all else, Lazarus, the last dinner, he's killed, he is risen. Then the thousands are baptized, and then the people go out, and then John has a vision, and then Revelations happens. So that's basically everything that happens in the New Testament. And then there's also 400 years of silence that takes place between the Old Testament and the New Testament. Which honestly, did nothing important happen in those 400 years? Really? Nothing? All right, and then the next book is Titus. Keep your heart free from hate and your mind free from worry. Bless your neighbors, kiss your spouses, nurture your children, live simply, expect little and give much, defend the truth and protect honor, scatter sunshine and savor the rain, stay busy in the home, forget yourself and think of others, make your wrongs right and share your truth. And then I've just got a little house, a simple little house. I like this one. All right, and then you get to Jude, and I actually painted this. We were at the beach, and I painted it. This is actually the beach chair at the beach, and everything is going to be all right. Rest. Everything is coming together. Open your hearts, because love is on the way. All right, and then you get to 3 John. I pray that you may enjoy good health, and that all may go well with you, even as your soul may prosper. Okay? Don't ask me. Don't even ask me. I don't even remember. All right, and then the next book is 2 Timothy. For God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. And out of the ashes we rise. So he's a little kitty cat, but in his mind he's a great, powerful lion that just also happens to be a phoenix in this analogy. And I actually like this one because I really like the color scheme, and it turned out, it was okay. There's about 5 months between when this one was done and when this one was done. So I don't know what happened in those 5 months. But when I came back pretty strong, it looks like. Again with the Zen tangles everywhere, though.